Hi, my name's Avery with University Pulse, here with Tyler from MYLO BYBEE.
Thanks for having me.
So, Treefort, who are you most excited to see?
Oh boy, this year's lineup is one of my favorite in a long time. I mean, they're all amazing, but
we have a lot of good artists.
So this year I'm most excited to see a band called Early November. They were an emo band I grew up listening to, and we actually got to play with their lead singer Ace Ender's solo when he came here. But I've never seen the full band play. So
actually,
yeah,
just live.
Yep. So super excited to see
cool.
them, and also Flip Turn tonight. I'm really stoked to see.
Flip Turn.
Yeah.
These guys are really good. So you guys have been performing at Treefort for a while now.
Yeah. Yep.
How is this Treefort differ from any of the other events that you performed?
We did actually. We performed last night.
No
we
way.
We have two sets. Yeah, we
Okay.
played one last night at Boise Brewing, and we played one Saturday at the Olympic. You know, this is our sixth year playing Treefort,
Wow.
and every year it just seems to get better in every way. Just like how things are run, it blows my mind, like how things run so smoothly from the band's end when there's 500 plus bands and however many venues, and
going on.
the turnover times, you know, oftentimes it's not a lot, like turning over, getting line checks and getting bands going, and it just every year it's in little ways it just seems to improve.
The spark.
Yeah, for sure. And it's even before your show, you get like your run a show, you get all your information to like know when to show up to the venue, know all of that stuff. When you're coordinating that with 500 plus bands, it just blows my mind.
Yeah.
So every year it just improves. Yeah.
Do you guys have any like pre-show rituals whenever you guys perform?
Not really. It's usually trying to nail down the like what order we're going to play all of our songs in. That usually leads up to the last minute, like what our set list looks like. We also always check in with each other beforehand, and we do a fit check to make sure we're not wearing the same thing mainly, and to look like or make it look like we're presentable on stage, because it could go south.
Yeah, I gotta keep the look.
Exactly.
So, what does MYLO BYBEE mean?
Yeah, so it kind of became a default band name in the pandemic when we didn't have a band name and we were just going to record, and we had just read an article about a guy from Idaho who created the finger steak. That's who MYLO BYBEE is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does he know of the band?
I don't know if he's even around anymore.
Oh, so it was like...
I'm sorry if he is, but I don't think he is. But we actually have had family members reach out to us just to say, hey, love the band name.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get sued someday, but...
Well, then I have to ask, like, where in Idaho is your favorite place to get finger steaks?
I like the Hyde Park Pub. They have really good finger steaks.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd for sure say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out there.
Yeah, it's very good.
So how did you guys start?
We formed during the pandemic when lockdown happened. We at the time when the band first started, it was me, my brother, and my brother-in-law. So we were always hanging around each other so much anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
We had a space where we could just go practice and play music and just really to pass the time, and that's how it really formed. And I'm the only existing member of the original three. They've each branched off, and whether or not playing music anymore or playing in other bands and whatnot, but that's how we originally started.
I'm assuming it was all in Idaho where it really blossomed.
Yep, for sure. All here in Idaho. We're all born and raised here, and then we all moved away or a couple of us moved away for years, and then moved back, and then we all moved back. Yep, exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Full circle moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Since you've been performing in Idaho for a while, do you have any favorite venues? If you were to list like your top 3 venues, what would they be?
I mean, it's really hard to beat Treefort Music Hall.
Yeah.
We've played there a couple of times. Before that game, I've always been a huge fan of the Neurolux.
I love the Neurolux.
That's where I grew up, like going to a bunch of shows.
Yeah.
Well, grew up when I was 21. Going to a bunch of shows. And a lot of those that I actually grew up going to are no longer around anymore, and so I would have probably named one of those, but Neurolux is definitely one that, from going to watch a show and playing both, Neurolux beyond Music Hall is probably my favorite.
On the topic of artists and bands, my next question was going to be like, what bands inspire you? So if you could list some of the ones that aren't even around anymore, that'd be awesome.
You know, I don't know. I mean, there's not only like the bands that I listen to that I know you can kind of hear probably those bands in our sound and whatnot. I'm a big Manchester Orchestra fan. That's probably one of my favorites. Hippocampus. I'm a really big Hippocampus. From a singer-songwriter standpoint, I was always a huge James Taylor, Jim Croce type fan, John Prine, a lot of that type of stuff. But more so the former that I mentioned are probably bands that we sort of orient around. We get compared to Death Cab for Cutie all the time. I like them, listen to them all the time. So yeah, a lot of those bands I pull inspiration from.
I know you guys just recently released your newest album, Revisions, is that right?
Yep.
Just tell me more about your goal of what you wanted it to represent and the sound behind that.
Yeah, I mean, just the underlying theme of the whole album is just change. Some type of change, some type of transition. You know, we've gone through a couple iterations of the band in sound and how our sound developed, but also members of the band, and so we're kind of in that next phase. So it's just that kind of always going through that transition, but also life changes. Like in the midst of that writing process, I became a dad, and so just, you know, big changes. Just big changes. Just every song leads to some type of change, like having a good future. Exactly. Outlook on the future, you know, change for the better. So that's really the underlying theme.
How long did it take you guys to record it then?
Oh, like not too long. You know, it's only 6 songs. Wow. So actually recording, I think we were in the studio for 3 days or so.
Wow.
Maybe a little bit extra time, just doubling vocals, all that type of stuff. But this one didn't take too long. The songs spanned a gap of 2.5 years since our previous album. But yeah,
so it's kind of just a new step now that you got it out.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, and it shows a little bit of an evolution of our sound, I think. Like it's a little bit more drivey, a little more angsty, just how our sound is kind of developing.
Then what was your sound like before? Like, was it a little more like,
I would say before it was a little bit mellower in terms of like the vocals weren't as, or the lyrics I should say weren't as, I mean some songs they weren't as what's the word I'm trying to say, pointed, if that makes sense, like directed at something in particular. It was just kind of more about themes and concepts and what's happening in the world and whatnot, where this one is very specific, very pointed, you know, about actual life experiences that I had. And I think the songs, I used the word angsty already, are a little bit just more angsty and drivey and change tempos and time signatures and whatnot, so it kind of keeps you on your toes a little bit.
Yeah. Well, if you were to like create a movie right now and you had to use Revisions as the soundtrack, what would the concept of that movie be like?
Ooh, that's
hard brainstorm right now.
Oh, probably somebody. Oh, that's a good question. I would say probably a movie about just somebody going through several huge life transitions. So like for an example, you know, one of the songs on the album, I lived in Alaska for a long time in like an island in the middle of the Bering Sea, and so it was literally different than anything I'd never ever known in my life. And so one of the songs is written specifically about that, and so just every song on there is like a complete 180, becoming a dad when you weren't before.
Right.
You know, just so somebody literally going from one point in their life to a completely other point in their life, I think would be somewhat of a movie. Movie concept,
Okay. Well, I guess on the topic of your album and creating songs, what was the songwriting process like for the whole thing, or just in general?
Yeah, ours is kind of all over the place. I will typically bring some type of a blueprint or a structure of a song to the rest of the guys. I usually have like a hook or something in my head. Yeah, exactly. That we can kind of build around. From a lyric standpoint, from like a chorus standpoint, but then also musically. You know, I'm not by any means like an amazing guitar player, so I'll just kind of figure out a hook line or whatever on a guitar, a little bit of a melody, and then really bring it to the band to kind of fully develop that song. And it's worked pretty well, you know, for us this far, especially going through multiple members. You know, that songwriting
you
process.
just build it up.
Yeah, that always evolves and changes, and you get new members in that have different styles and processes and whatnot, and so that continues to evolve. But that's typically what it's like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of just work it up from there, see how they want to improve it. And,
Yeah. Yep.
You know.
And they
rework
definitely
everything.
evolve. Like, I wish I had a repertoire of like where songs started to
Then
their
where they
final
stop.
state, because
Okay.
I don't have those original raw ones, which I wish I did, because they definitely get flipped on their head a lot. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
My last questions for you is if you were to dedicate a drink for your band, what would that drink be?
I would say, I'm going to use an alcoholic drink. I would say a Moscow Mule.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because it's, if you don't like ginger beer or haven't had it before, it might like be an acquired taste a little
Yeah.
bit, but then it's really sweet and savory once you like it.
Would it be like
So
the
I'd describe
MYLO
us, I
Mule?
guess. Yeah, Milo Mule. There you go. That's very
There's a
good.
catch to that.
Yeah, I might use that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much
Yeah.
for letting me interview you.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
And you said you have one more set?
Yeah, we play Saturday at the Olympic at 4:30.
Well, I'll be there.
Awesome.
Sick.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you.